Hello everyone and welcome back to UFO Evidence, the channel where we explore the most compelling and puzzling encounters with the unknown. For centuries, humans have looked up at the stars and wondered, are we alone? But for some, that question has been answered with a resounding no. All over the world, credible witnesses, from ordinary citizens to trained pilots and military personnel, have reported seeing objects in our skies that defy conventional explanation. These aren't just blurry lights or weather balloons. We're talking about structured metallic craft performing maneuvers that are impossible for any known human technology. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most fascinating and well-documented cases of alleged alien ships seen by witnesses. We'll examine their descriptions, the consistency across different sightings, and what these encounters might mean for our understanding of the universe. So, buckle up as we journey into the heart of the UFO phenomenon. Let's start with one of the most iconic shapes reported, the classic flying saucer. The term was coined back in 1947 by pilot Kenneth Arnold. While flying near Mount Rainier in Washington, Arnold saw a string of 9 incredibly fast, shiny objects. He described their movement as like a saucer skipping across water, and the name stuck. Since then, thousands of people have reported seeing these disc-shaped craft. They're often described as metallic, seamless, and sometimes adorned with lights. Witnesses frequently mention their silent hovering capabilities, followed by instantaneous right-angle turns and accelerations that would crush any human pilot. A famous case is the 1952 Washington, D.C. UFO incident, where multiple saucer-like objects were tracked on radar over a 2-week period, seen by pilots and ground observers, and even scrambled fighter jets. The consistency in these saucer reports, spanning decades and continents, is what makes them so compelling. Are they all misidentifications, or are we seeing a common type of non-human technology? Another frequently reported shape is the black triangle. These are massive, silent, triangular craft, often seen Tradimento low altitudes at night. They typically have lights at each corner and a larger central light. One of the most famous waves of sightings occurred in Belgium between 1989 and 1990. Over a period of months, thousands of witnesses, including police officers and military personnel, reported seeing these huge, silent triangles. The Belgian Air Force even scrambled F-16s to intercept them, and the pilots locked onto Gare Manœuvre craft on their radar, which performed maneuvers far beyond the capabilities of their jets. The Phoenix Lights incident in 1997 is another cornerstone case. Thousands of people in Arizona, including the state governor, saw a massive V-shaped or triangular object JGD silently across the sky for hours. The sheer size, silent operation, and slow, deliberate movement of these craft are hallmarks of black triangle sightings. It's hard to dismiss thousands of consistent testimonies as simple misidentification of conventional aircraft. Beyond saucers and triangles, witnesses have described a whole menagerie of strange aerial vehicles. One of the more peculiar types is the cigar-shaped UFO. These are often enormous, elongated objects, sometimes described as motherships, from which smaller craft are seen. See Gunpeo. A notable example is the 1976 Tehran UFO incident, where 2 Iranian Air Force F-4 Phantom II jets were sent to investigate a brilliant object. As they approached, their instrumentation and communications failed. One of the pilots reported seeing a smaller glowing object detach from the larger cigar-shaped craft. Similarly, there are reports of spherical or orb-like UFOs. These are often glowing Enioji balls of light, sometimes metallic, that move with incredible agility and intelligence. They've been seen zipping through the sky, hovering, and even interacting with military aircraft, as famously documented in the 2004 Nimitz encounter, where U.S. Navy pilots described a white tic-tac-shaped object performing impossible aerial feats. These varied shapes suggest we might not be dealing with just one type of visitor or one type of technology. So what do we make of all this? The sheer volume and consistency of witness testimony are staggering. We have trained observers like pilots, air traffic controllers, and military personnel, whose jobs depend on Jehovah's ability to identify objects in the sky, reporting the same unexplainable phenomena. The descriptions of these craft are often incredibly detailed and consistent across completely unrelated incidents. They describe seamless, metallic surfaces with no visible rivets, seams, or propulsion systems. They describe silent flight, the ability to hover motionless, and then accelerate to hypersonic speeds in an instant. This is technology that, by our current understanding of physics and aerodynamics, simply should not exist. When you have pilots like Commander David Fravor, a U.S. Navy veteran with thousands of flight hours, describe an object that outmaneuvered his FA-18 Super Hornet, you have to take it seriously. These aren't just stories, they're data points. One of the most powerful aspects of witness testimony is the emotional and psychological impact on the person. Many witnesses speak of a sense of awe, confusion, and sometimes fear. They know what they saw was not normal. They risk ridicule and damage to their careers by coming forward, yet they do so because they feel a duty to report what they've witnessed. Take the Ariel School encounter in Zimbabwe in 1994. Over 60 school children, GT reported seeing a disc-shaped craft land in a field near their playground, and some even described seeing beings emerge from it. Decades later, as adults, their stories remain consistent and emotionally charged. They are not seeking fame or fortune. They are simply relaying a profound, life-altering experience. The shared consistent details from dozens of independent witnesses in a single event are incredibly difficult to explain away as a mass hallucination or a childish fantasy. These human experiences are the heart and soul of UFO research. Now let's address the skeptics. The common explanations at ARIAS are weather phenomena, conventional aircraft, satellites, drones, or mass hysteria. And yes, many sightings can be explained by these things. But we're not talking about those cases. We're talking about the small percentage of unexplained cases that remain after rigorous investigation. When a UFO is tracked on multiple radar systems, visually confirmed by multiple trained observers, and interacts with military jets, it's no longer just a light in the sky. When thousands of people across a state see a mile-wide silent craft, it's not a weather balloon. The U.S. government itself has now acknowledged the reality of these objects, rebranding UFOs as unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. The Pentagon's UAP task force has released videos and reports confirming that these craft are real, physical objects, and their origin and intent are unknown. The conversation has shifted from if they're real to what are they? The consistency in the described flight characteristics is perhaps the most compelling evidence. We hear the same descriptions time and time again: extreme acceleration, instantaneous changes in direction, and hypersonic speeds without any sonic boom. These are what the Pentagon report calls transmedium capabilities, meaning the craft can move seamlessly between air and water. Think back to the Tic Tac UFO from the Nimitz encounter. It was first detected underwater, then shot up to 80,000 feet, hovered, and then zipped away at speeds that are simply unimaginable for Wamanda-Giju. This isn't just one pilot's story. It's a well-documented event with radar data and multiple eyewitnesses. The patterns are clear. These craft operate in a way that suggests a mastery of physics far beyond our own. They seem to manipulate gravity or space-time itself, allowing for propulsion without a visible energy source or exhaust. These consistent reports of impossible physics are a huge clue that we're dealing with something truly extraordinary. In conclusion, the evidence from witness testimonies is too vast and too consistent to be ignored. From the flying saucers of the 1950s to the black triangles of the 90s and the Tic Tacs of today, people from all walks of life are seeing structured, intelligently controlled craft in our skies. While we must always maintain a healthy dose of skepticism and rule out conventional explanations, we must also be open to the possibility that some of these sightings are exactly what they appear to be: evidence of a non-human intelligence visiting our planet. The stories of these witnesses are not just anecdotes. They are a crucial piece of a much larger puzzle. The more we listen, the more we analyze, and the more people feel safe to come forward, the closer we will get to understanding the truth. The world is changing, and the conversation about UFOs is finally being taken seriously at the highest levels. The age of denial is over. The age of discovery has just begun. Thank you for joining us on UFO Evidence. What are your thoughts on these witness accounts? Have you ever seen something you couldn't explain? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your stories and theories. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an investigation into the unknown. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies.